Hola mi gente, it's Kat. Welcome back to Kat and Too Many Books. I'm happy to see you here. So my book Dragons, what I am going to be doing in this video is, as you can tell by the title, giving you my June TBR. So you will know I am a mood reader, so I like to have a huge TBR, even if I don't read any of them. I like to have the options, and especially for June, which is Pride Month, and as a queer person, I love to read queer stories the whole year round. I love to read all stories the whole year round. We should all read inclusively, intersectionally, and diversely, forever and ever. Amen. But I specifically take June to read just queer stories, queer characters, queer writers, if I can, So I will be doing that. My TBR is all queer writers, all queer authors, all queer characters, and queer stories. I don't have all the books that I own. I just picked a bunch that I was like, okay, I kind of really would like to read this. I still have a ton in different places. So anyways, there's quite a few in this. So I'm going to just get started with this. So again, here's my June TBR. I'm going to start with the library books that I have. Let me start with this one. It is called Otherworldly by F.T. Lukens. It is a story of two characters, a non-binary character named Ellery, and another character named Knox. Ellery has lived in this town where they've had like 5-year winter, and their family is being adversely affected because their family owns a farm, and so of course that's not helping them. And they don't believe in the supernatural. They believe there's a scientific explanation. They run into Knox, who is a sort of magical creature from the other world. So there really is some sort of supernatural thing happening, of course. So Knox runs into Ellery, who rescues him from these demons that have come to take him, and he decides that he needs to tether himself to Ellery, and I'm guessing Ellery decides that they could use Knox to help them with the situation with their family. And I assume they fall in love. That's all I know. Sounded really interesting, so I picked it up. The next one I actually started reading already. I probably should have started with this one, but I started reading it today. Today's June 1st when I'm recording this. I started reading this and am already about 200 pages in. I think like 206. Yeah, which is more than a little over halfway through it. And that is Icarus by Kay Ancrum. Icarus is a retelling of the myth Icarus, obviously. And Icarus is a 17-year-old, almost 18-year-old boy whose father is an art restoration, I guess that's how you would say it, and an art thief as well. He has trained Icarus to steal valuable art, but just from one specific person, and that's Mr. Black, who Icarus's father, Angus, blames for Icarus's mother's death. So he's been sort of helping steal this man's art and replacing it with forgeries that Angus creates. And one day when he is in the Black Mansion stealing something, he runs into somebody that is Helos, which is Angus, Mr. Black's son, who was being held prisoner there by his father. And so it's the story of sort of Icarus and Helos falling in love, and Icarus trying to figure out a way out of this situation he's in with his own father, and to maybe get himself, Helos, out of it as well. I don't know. I'm loving this. I'm truly loving this. I love anything Kay Ancrum writes. And I think this is going to be my first 5-star in a really long time. So I'm looking forward to finishing it, and I probably will do that today. So now we're going to get started on non-library books that I have. I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly. I'm going to talk about this one because I actually put this on an on-haul video I had a bit back, but then I was undecided whether or not I was going to unhaul it because I felt bad about it because I wanted to read it for so long, and I know it's actually quite good. I just also know the sequel is not good at all, and I was like, do I want to start reading it? But I kind of made the decision that I will only read this book because I think you can just read this one book and just leave everything else the way it is. So I think I'm gonna try, and if I don't read it this month, I'm just gonna unhaul it. It means I'm just not gonna read it. I'm gonna try to read Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nagan. I don't know much about it. I know it's really good. It's fantasy. And so yeah, that's on that list. Again, if I don't read that this month and you see me, you don't see it in my read, you feel free to comment and remind me to please unhaul it, because that just means I'm not going to read it. This is the last chance I'm giving myself to do it. All right, so the next ones, I have a lot of different types. So I'm not putting them in any sort of genre category. I should. It would probably be easier, but I'm just going to go through everything. All right, so the next one that I want to sort of read is, well, I want to read all of these, but the next option I have for myself is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I believe this is a collection of stories about queer Black characters. And I have it on my list for if I am in the mood. The next one after that I have is a really cute little middle grade that I got a while back. And it's called Star-Crossed by Barbara D. Isn't it the cutest little cover? I love this so much. And the little synopsis says, 12-year-old Maddie is thrilled when she learns the 8th grade play will be Romeo and Juliet. In particular, she's excited to share the stage with Gemma Brathwaite, who has been cast as Juliet. Gemma is brilliant and pretty and British, and Maddie starts to see her as more than just a friend, even though Maddie has also had an off and on crush on her classmate Elijah since, well, forever. Is it possible to have a crush on both boys and girls? If that wasn't enough to deal with, things off stage and are beginning to resemble their own Shakespearean drama. The cast is fighting, and the boy playing Romeo may not be up to the challenge of the role. And due to a last-minute emergency, Maddie's asked to step in as Romeo, opposite Gemma's Juliet, just as Maddie's secret crush starts to become not so secret in her group of friends. In this funny, sweet, and clever look at the complicated nature of middle school romance, Maddie learns how to become a lead player in her own life. I'm so excited. Oh, I love this so much. This sounds so cute, and I'm so looking forward to. I'm probably gonna pick this up because this is so cute. It's like a little over 200 pages. It's adorable. I'm gonna put it like over on the pile of for sure ones. Like, well, I always say for sure, but you know, maybes, big maybes. Oh, my drink is all the way up there. Also wanted to display book dragons. Here's my book dragon. He's cute and we love him. My shirt says, what doesn't my shirt say? A friend got this for me. In a world of bookworms, be a book dragon. So I agree. A little parched. All right. So that one sounded very cute. Star-Crossed. Oh, I think this is a sequel. Oh, I didn't realize that. I wonder if I can read it without it. Well, I should probably pick up The Extraordinaries. I guess this is a sequel to a book called The Extraordinaries. I just realized that. So I'll still keep it here. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I'll borrow The Extraordinaries from the library. I don't know. Whatever. It's one of the books. I might just read it. Whatever. Glad I figured that out. I know Autobiography by Christina Lauren. They wrote this a really long time ago, and my best friend read it and said she really loved it. It is about a bisexual boy named Tanner who moves to Utah from California, and of course he's bisexual, but he had to kind of go back into the closet because of course where they're living now is not conducive to anyone who is queer. But he falls in love with one of the Mormon boys from his town, Sebastian. So, and so he notices his boy and I guess gets a crush, and I think they get involved. I don't know a lot about it. I do know my friend April told me it's really cute, and so it's here. The next one I have is Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, which is about a group of friends who accidentally kill someone and then bring that person back from the dead. But that person, then they do it wrong and they're a zombie, I guess, and undead. So they have to kind of, I think they're like a little coven. It's like a witchy book. And they have to, excuse me, they have to run around and sort of fix it and believe there's queer characters and possibly even a queer romance in here. So yeah, that's on my list there. I'm just going to kind of go through these now, guys. Kind of varying a little to something a little bit more, maybe more serious or even like scary. Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I believe this is about a woman whose wife went on a mission underwater, and then when she returned, her wife isn't the same anymore, and it's sort of like trying to figure out what happened to her wife. Did something happen on the mission? Something supernaturally happening? Is it just something to do with, some sort of trauma? And yeah, it's not a very long book at all either. It's like a little over 200, it's like 222 pages or something. But yeah, so, and it's kind of mysterious and kind of spooky vibes. So I like that, in case I'm in the mood for spooky vibes. I have Bedazzled by Ryan LaSala. Rafi has a passion for bedazzling, not just bedazzling, but sewing, stitching, draping, pattern making for creation. Just like a lot of cosplay. And then his ex-boyfriend Luca is in this competition that he's doing. They didn't really work out. But they're forced to partner together, and I think it's maybe a second chance romance of sorts. So there's that. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. And so it is the story of Liz Lightly. I love this. Liz Lightly has always believed I love the little synopsis because it sounds like so good. Liz Lightly and I love that name, Liz Lightly, has always believed she's too black, too poor, too awkward to shine in her small, rich, prom-obsessed Midwestern town. But it's okay. Liz has a plan that will get her out of Campbell, Indiana forever, attend the upper elite Pennington College, play in their world-famous orchestra, and become a doctor. But when the financial aid she was counting on unexpectedly falls through, Liz's plans come crashing down until she's reminded of her school scholarship for prom king and queen. There's nothing Liz wants to do less than endure a gauntlet of social media trolls, catty competitors, and humiliating public events. But despite her devastating fear of the spotlight, she's willing to do whatever it takes to get to Pennington. The only thing that makes it highly bearable is the new girl in school, Mac. She's smart, funny, and just as much of an outsider as Liz. But Mac is also in the running for queen. Will falling for the competition help keep Liz from her dreams or make them come true? So it's cute. It's a cute romance, and I love it. And I love this. The cover is so cute. She's so beautiful. So that would be a really lovely one. It's also quite short. The next one I have is Love and Other Disasters. It is one of my book of the month ones. So I really should try to read it because I really need to start reading my book of the month ones. I swear I never do. I buy them and I never read them. That's bad. Anyway, by Anita Kelly. And this is a story about Delilah Woodson's. So her marriage ended in a hideous explosion of misery, and she quit her job for the gamble of a lifetime. But she's finally a contestant on the cooking show Chef Special. Now all Delilah has to do is not fall on her face more than once, make the best food of her life, and try not to get distracted by her hot, incredibly dishing competition. London Parker is fighting for more than just a cooking title. Not only did they just come out as non-binary on national television, but this is an opportunity for London to raise some support and a ton of cash for the queer community. No pressure. So it's just kind of them getting distracted, finding each other adorable, and possibly just falling in love. And there's cooking, and it could be very cute. The next one I have is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, which came out a couple years ago now, and I really wanted to read. And it's set in the 50s, and it is about a queer club, the Telegraph Club, where the main character, Lily, meets Kath. And it's 1954. It's not a safe place for two girls to fall in love. So it's just sort of all the drama that comes with that, and I'm hoping there's a happy ending to this because I'll be very sad. But I love the cover of this. I think it's a beautiful cover. I think it's gorgeous, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time, actually. So, yes. Okay, let's go on. I have an old school. All right, don't come at me. I've never read this book. I've had it forever. This might be another one like Girls of Paper and Fire, right? Yeah. Girls of Paper and Fire. If I don't read this, I probably should just unhaul it. And that's actually Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I don't think I have to say anything about this. You know, it's the, yeah, y'all know what this is. So, yeah. If I don't read it, I should probably get rid of it at this point. All right, the next one after that, I think I'm going to look at, had this for a long time. I'm also going to prioritize, and some of the ones I've had on here forever, I should really try to read. So I've had this All Out, edited by Sandra Mitchell, forever. And so it is a short story collection. I think it's horror, fantasy horror, short story collections, all centered around queer teens throughout the ages. So I've had it forever, and I think it would be a really good idea to sort of prioritize reading it this year because I've had it for so long. So that one's a very good possibility. What do I have after that? Let me see what else I want to... let me okay. The next one I have is Blanca and Roja, which is by Anna Marie McLemore, who is a queer author. And this is about two sisters, I believe, Blanca and Roja. I think there's some sort of curse on them. Yeah. Yes. So, like, one of them will be left as a girl, the other will be left as a swan. There's like a dangerous game, and then two boys kind of get involved. I'm not 100% sure everything, but I've had this for a long time. And I'd like to read some Anna Marie McLemore if I can. I know they are quite good. All right. I have a fun one. This is a tiny one. It's like it's a cute little romance. It's The Ruin of a Rake by Cat Sebastian. And I remember looking a few years ago for like fun queer romance writers, you know, like old school, but like queer, like romance writers. And Cat Sebastian's name came up a lot. So I've been picking up their stuff for a while and trying to read it. I think I read another one of theirs a couple of years ago that I loved. So yeah, it's about Lord Courtney. It's been called Rogue, Libertine, Rake. But now he's been shunned from society because there was like a tell-all book that came out. And so he can't see his nephew, so he's willing to do anything to improve his reputation. And so he starts to spend time with a very proper man from London whose name is Julian Medlock. Julian's sister asks him to help rehabilitate Courtney. And obviously Julian is actually also queer. So he's lusted after Courtney for a long time. And it's sort of them getting together. The Ruin of a Rake. It sounds like such awesome, like old school Julia Quinn. That's a Julia Quinn title. So I'm excited. This is a cute one too. I might definitely look into that one. That's kind of adorable. All right, so let's see what I have also. Excuse me. I've got Camp by L.C. Rawson, which is a story about a queer summer camp, a theater summer camp, right? Spending summer at Camp Outland, a camp for queer teens. It's where he met his best friends, it's where he performs in a big camp musical, and it's where he fell for Aronson Lim, who barely knows he exists. Hudson is a muscular gay boy who is attracted to other masculine gay boy. And Randy is decidedly not masked. Still, he wants Hudson to be his boyfriend, and this year is going to be different. And so he returns to camp as Dell, masked and looking for love. So he changes his appearance, I guess, to be able to get the boy he likes, which I'm not sure what happens, but yep, sounds fun. Let's go. It's summertime too, so summer camp, summertime. Very nice. I have This Coven Won't Break by Isabel Sterling. Now, I read the first one of this, which was These Witches Don't Burn. I really loved that book. I really loved it. And so it was left kind of in a sort of cliffhangy sort of way, like people's lives are in peril. But now I think like the characters that we met are going to work together to fight off like the evil. I don't want to give out much. If you haven't read the first one, please pick it up. But yes, I think I really want to read this one. I'm feeling kind of like witchy feelings, so I'm wondering about these witchy books I've got. I would love to kind of look at them. So yeah, this Coven Won't Break by Isabel Sterling. V.E. Schwab's A Conjuring of Light. A Conjuring of Light is the final in the Shades of Magic series. I read the first and the second one. I read the second one a while ago. I got very upset and very angry on behalf of the main character, Cal, in the second one, that it's taken me a long time to pick up the third one. The reason I have it here is because two of the characters in here are queer, and I do believe they are heavily centered in this particular book, and their romance and relationship and love is like highlighted heavily. Like, I want to put it in my pile in case I decide I finally want to sort of get through this, get over the anger I had in the second one, and sort of see what happens. It's really thick though. It's a big book. It's a big book. She's a big girl. So we'll see, but I'm gonna have it as a choice. After that, I have All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. I love this cover so much. It's beautiful. I've had this for a while too. I should put it in the stack of like, priority. This is the story of George Matthew Johnson. This is a story for us all. In his groundbreaking young adult memoir, prominent writer and LGBTQIA+ activist George M. Johnson shares both glorious and gut-wrenching memories of growing up Black and queer in America. So this is author's memoir, and I've had this a long time. I want to put this on my pile of, if I'm going to read, this is the ones I should look at. So I got it on sale. So I took it. Oh, I think I just scratched the cover. Shoot. Did I just scratch the cover? No. Darn it. I hate when that happens. I hate when they put stickers on these. Oh, it makes me so mad. The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. This sounded really good. It's set in 1873, so historical fantasy. So it's set in Paris. There's like Vaudeline de Allaire. She's a talented conjurer of spirits, specifically murder victims, so they can identify who killed them. Then Liana Weeks comes to Paris to find answers about her sister's death. They meet. They're beckoned to England to the London Seance Society, and they have to work together to kind of figure out some mysteries, because I guess people are being murdered or something's happening, and they have to work together, and their friendship turns into something more. So I would like to see that. I'd like to read it, just not see it. Oh, I'd see it too. If you all want to make a movie out of this, a series, I would eat it up. So that's another one. When We Were Magic. This is another Coven book by Sarah Gailey. Sarah Gailey is one of my favorites. They are such an amazing writer. I've loved all of their work. Everything I've read of theirs, I generally just loved, like 5 stars. So this one's a little bit younger, I think. It's a bit young adult. Keeping your magic a secret is hard. Being in love with your best friend is harder. So it's about a group of friends who are in a coven who are all magical, and I think just dealing with different situations that they find themselves in. I'm giving very, very short, not that like great synopsis. Sorry guys, trying to get through this because it's going to be very long already. Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. Y'all, like fantasy. Like, I'm excited to read this. We already know. Like, it has to do with spirits and, oh gosh. Yadrel. So he's traditional Latinx family, problems accepting his gender. Yadrel becomes determined to prove himself a real brujo. So Yadrel is a brujo. He's trying to prove himself to his family. I guess someone murdered his cousin. Then he meets Julian, resident bad boy, and I think they fall in love. And it's a beautiful Latinx queer fantasy story. And yeah, they should go on my big pile of yes, please. I have Dear Centurion, another memoir by Okweki as Amenzi. Oh my God, Okweki Amenzi, whose two books I've read are Pet and Bitter. I love them both. I've loved their writing. This is a memoir they've written. I think it's just a collection of essays too, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I picked it up not long ago, and it would be a definitely good read. So it's there on my pile. I just thought something made me sad, but also happy. Not this book. This book, just I love this book. Pretty book. The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. And it's about Michael, mixed race gay teen growing up in London. All his life, he's navigated what it means to be Greek. I think it's Cypriot and Jamaican, but never quite feeling Greek or black enough. As he gets older, Michael's coming out is only the start of learning who he is and where he fits in. When he discovers the drag society, he finally finds where he belongs, and the Black Flamingo is born. So, this is gonna be great. Okay, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I read this in my previous video, the first chapter. Love this. So warm and cozy. Like, I think I mentioned it makes you feel like you're playing one of those like warm and cozy cafe like owning a town games, just like lovely. And so this would be a really fun one for me to read. And yeah, as we know, it is about Viv, who is a bounty hunter or assassin or something previously, who ends up buying and opening a cafe in a little town, and just her story. And I believe this is her love interest. So that's in there. I think it's almost second to last in the series, but Paper Girls, Volume 5 by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chiang. This centers a queer character. One of the main characters is a queer character. And I'd like to see where her story goes for sure, but I also like to see what the heck is going to happen to these 4 girls. I don't know if you know the premise for it, but it's just a series about a group of 4 girls who were paper girls, like they had a paper route, who one day after Halloween find themselves in the middle of a weird thing happening with aliens and like other planets, and they get pulled into a different dimension and like run into each other and find out things run into themselves as in their 40s, and find out some of the stuff that happens in their lives and figure who they are in the process. So yeah, and that'd be a real quick read, so should be in there. All right, so I'm doing some repeaters in a way. So my repeaters: In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. So we are repeating TJ Klune. This one's a story about a robot, like an inventor deep in the heart of a peculiar journey. 3 robots: inventor android Giovanni, the nurse, and a small vacuum desperate for love. Victor lost and a human lives there too. They're a family, and I think it's Victor meeting somebody else who maybe then puts his family in danger, or the other way around. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's cute, and it's like somebody said it gave them Wizard of Oz vibes, which I'm curious about. And yeah, I really love TJ Klune's writing, so maybe something I can read before the sequel to The Cerulean Sea comes out. All right, the next one I have is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marksky, which was given to me a really long time ago by my best friend, and it is a historical romance about 2 men named Robin Blythe. Magic. It has to do with magic. And the other gentleman's name is Edwin Kersey. And like I think Robin's predecessor disappeared, and they have to kind of work together, and it's like it's a magical society, so it's a fantasy with them kind of falling in love. So there's that. I actually, now that I think about it, what did I do with it? I have another one that I've had forever that is a sci-fi one that I've been meaning to read, and I didn't put it on here, so I might end up with an extra one at some point. All right, I've got a few more left. So another Ryan DeSala, The Honeys. It's just called The Honeys. And this one's about a guy named Mars. His sister Caroline is killed, and so he ends up. So Mars is gender fluid. He's not very close to his family, but I think he ends up going to and looking into his sister's death, and he has to like join the society that she was a part of to try to figure it out, and figure out who killed his sister and what happened. I don't know if there's any supernatural stuff here. I have no idea if it's just a straight up thriller mystery, but that's the next one. I feel like there probably is going to be some kind of supernatural stuff because Ryan DeSala usually has stuff like that, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So the next one I have is another Aidan Thomas, which is The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas, which I love. This cover so much. It's beautiful. I love the inside of this book. It's beautiful. I think this is like the Barnes & Noble, like edition, which is lovely. I love maps. Reino del Sol. I love maps so much. So I don't know what this is. It's a fantasy. It's queer. It's pretty. All right. Here I go. All right. 2 more left. So I haven't read this yet. I'm afraid to read this. Maybe I'll make myself read it this year with this. But it is Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World by Benjamin Alier Science. Anyways, it's the sequel to Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, and I've flippin' loved that book so much that I'm so afraid to try this book because I'm afraid it's not going to live up. So I've been putting it off, but this might be a good time to sort of force myself to read it. And the last one I have, I do think I have one more book, but I don't have it with me, but oh well. The last book I'm going to talk about and show is How Y'all Doing by Leslie Jordan. It is Leslie Jordan's, it's kind of like a memoir. It's more like little stories that Leslie told about his life and the stuff that he learned from it. He wrote this a little while before he died, maybe a couple years before he passed away, which still just hurts my soul so much. But it's so tiny and so cute, and I've just been meaning to read it, and this would be a great time, I think, to really do that. So 35 with the other book that I don't have with me, but you know what? I will put it here. This is it. This is the other book. It is a sci-fi. It's a science fiction fantasy about 2 men who have to get married. It's like an arranged marriage. And it turns into love, which is one of my favorite tropes. I don't know where it is, but yeah, here's the cover. So 35 books on my TBR for June. I will not be reading 35 books. I may not even read one. No, I will read at least one. I will read at least one because I will be done with Icarus today. So there'll be one. But yeah, so I'm hopefully maybe it inspires some of you to pick some of these up for your TBR. If you're reading any of the same books, please let me know in the comments. Tell me what you're reading. Tell me which ones you think I should maybe prioritize. That'd be good. Tell me which ones I should prioritize. I'm not even sure. Let me know if you've read any of them and you highly recommend. And I will hopefully talk to you guys very soon. This should be up tomorrow for Sunday. And then I actually have a video I already recorded a while back that was a tag video. So if I can stop myself from being lazy for the rest of this weekend, maybe I can get that edited and actually have another video up for you guys on Tuesday. But if I don't, well, then I will see you when I see you again, hopefully very soon. And you guys take care of yourself. Have a great weekend and the rest of your week. Bye.